Mario.
If you've ever read about a hotel on TripAdvisor that sounded too good to be true, and it turned out to be a real horror show, chances are you're going to sympathise with poor Luigi. After receiving an invite from the hotel owner Helen Gravely, Luigi, Mario, Peach, and the three toads make their way to the vacation spot. You begin by taking a little tour around the lobby with the adorable polter pup at your side, but you already get the feeling that everything's just a bit too nice.
Doggy.
With decadent cakes adorning the tables, piles of presents on the floor, and balloons festooned about the place, anyone would think you're in for the best holiday of your life. After checking into the room and settling in for the night, Luigi is awoken by a familiar scream coming from a nearby room. The shiny exterior evaporates into an ominous purple smoke, and with nothing but a torch in hand, the poor green plumber's nightmare truly begins. King Boo is once again the orchestrator of Luigi's latest nightmare thanks to Helen Gravely, who released the spectral ruler back into the world. Yep, that's right, your holiday invitation turned out to be a trap all along. As the main antagonist, the King of Boos has trapped Mario, Peach and the three toads inside picture frames, and Luigi is the next target. After you make your escape, you set out as the moustache plumber to rescue everyone and check out the nightmarish hotel for good. The last resort is made up of 15 floors, and every level has a different theme. The trouble is, the elevator buttons are missing, and in order to access all the floors and progress, you have to get them by defeating a boss ghostie on each floor you unlock. It's essentially the same kind of deal as previous games in the series. You have to set about solving puzzles to overcome obstacles and progress through blocked paths. While it does veer into familiar territory, switching up the setting from a mansion to a hotel makes the third entry in the series feel so much bigger in scale, especially as it's packed with so much variety. No room is the same, and every differently themed floor presents new challenges. This variety encourages you to experiment with everything in Luigi's arsenal. It's incredibly pleasing when you work out how to pull down a hidden lever or spin a wheel that showers you with coins. From a level with a movie set theme, which is my personal favourite, to a magic floor laden with all kinds of trickery and so much more besides, the level designs are impressively creative and a pure joy to explore. I did find myself enjoying certain floors more than others, but overall, investigating every nook and cranny to find all of the room's hidden secrets is an endlessly satisfying delight. Of course, you can't do any kind of exploring without the right equipment. As luck would have it, the paranormal researcher Professor E.Gadd gets caught up in King Boo's trap too. The Professor brings with him a pop-up laboratory that acts as an in-game menu hub where you can access a gallery of your collectibles, buy items from the shopping network, check out the map, and access the multiplayer modes Scarescraper and Scream Park. To communicate with Luigi as he adventures through the floors, Gadd gives you a VB, or Virtual Boo, that looks exactly like a Virtual Boy. Just like the adorable Game Boy Horror that pays homage to the Game Boy Color from Luigi's Mansion on GameCube, and the dual screen from Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon that looks just like a DS, you use the VB to access the map and get helpful tips from the Professor using the E.Gadd hotline if you get a little stuck. And it's thanks to E.Gadd that you get your hands on the latest model of Luigi's vacuum, the Poltergust Goo. Thankfully, the controls for all the Poltergust moves for the most part are pretty straightforward and control smoothly, which is important since you'll be spending the majority of your time vacuuming up everything in sight. Aside from sucking up the contents of a room, you can also perform a suction shot that fires a plunger onto surfaces and objects to pull items or levers, and use a burst move to jump in the air. But the piece de resistance is undoubtedly being able to summon your very own green doppelganger, Gooigi. The gooey Luigi lookalike can pass through grates and drains, help you move objects you can't otherwise move on your own, and is handily resistant to spiky projectiles. Get water on him though, and Gooigi will disintegrate into a gelatinous blob. Outside of his unique abilities, the green doppelganger is the perfect way of incorporating two-player co-op into the mix. The addition of Gooigi overall shakes the puzzle solving up in inventive ways, and the gooey guy is certainly one of the best additions who injects a breath of fresh, gooey air into the adventure. It has to be said that the exploration side of things is a lot more satisfying than sucking up the ghastly fiends. When you're vacuuming up the ghosts, you have to pull the left analog stick in the opposite direction it's moving in. But once again, Luigi's Mansion 3 shines in this department thanks to its variety. There are a lot of different ghosts who have different weapons, attire and moves that will push you to try out different tactics. I'll happily admit that I try out different moves at random until I work out the solution, because it isn't always obvious. But once you get the hang of what works and what doesn't, you'll feel like the most talented Ghostbuster around. Luigi's Mansion 3 looks absolutely gorgeous. In fact, it's one of the best looking games on the Switch so far. The animation is so wonderfully expressive and charming, with so much attention to detail. From the stitch work on Luigi's overalls to the horrified expressions of our dear cowardly plumber as he gets spooked, every single cutscene and level design is beautifully executed. Overall, Luigi's Mansion 3 manages to get the right balance between old and new to deliver a refreshing spin on the formula we've come to know and love from the series. Newcomers and longtime fans are sure to delight in exploring and uncovering everything the hotel has to offer. Solving all of the wonderfully clever puzzles will leave you feeling satisfied. And with so much personality and charm, Luigi's Mansion 3 truly proves the Green Plumber can be the star of the show. After all, Mario can't be in the limelight all the time. We give it 4.5 stars.